Hey cheer babes, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Journey. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're not, so welcome back. Today's video is going to be what to do when you're on your period, cheerleading 101. All right, y'all, we all got it. Okay, if you're a guy, you know, you can watch this too. You might be helping one of your cheermates out who don't know. Because there's some girls out there who don't get their period until like middle school or high school. Or, you know, I've had friends who lost their moms and they were raised by single fathers, so they might not know. So if you're a guy and watching this video, you might be able to help one of your cheermates out. But this is for my ladies, okay, y'all? So first of all, whether you're a cheerleader or not, if you have your period, if you're becoming of age when you're gonna get your period, I always recommend carrying a pouch, an emergency pouch, either in your backpack, in your purse, with a few pads, a few panty liners, maybe some like baby wipes, that type of thing, just for emergencies, because you never know what can happen. I will also put an extra pair of underwear. There have been times where, because I'm just now being responsible, where I keep up with my period and track it in an app so I know when it's coming. But before, I would just let it come. I'll be like, okay, so I know I had it on the 15th of last month. It should be around that same time this month. But there have been times where I would be like spotting. Spotting is basically where your full flow hasn't really came, but you know, a little bit has came. So then you'll know, okay, I'm gonna start my period. But if you're out somewhere and you have an emergency pouch, then what I do, I just throw the old underwear away, because I'm like, I'm not about to walk around with bloody underwear. So yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta throw my underwear away, but I got some extra underwear, I got some panty liners, I got some pads in here, and that's cool. So anyways, to the tips, what to do if you start your period, cheerleading 101. And when I'm saying start your period, I'm talking about if you're at a game or a practice or an event or whatever, and you start your period, or just how to be prepared. So the first thing that I want to touch on though is tampons. Now, I'm not against tampons, but there is a danger that comes with tampons. So if you didn't know, if you use tampons, you are at risk of getting toxic shock syndrome, okay? It doesn't matter how little you worn them. It doesn't matter if it's the first time you've worn them. It doesn't matter if you've worn them for years and you ain't got it. You're at risk for toxic shock. Excuse me, TSS, toxic shock syndrome, and you're especially susceptible to it as a cheerleader, as an athlete, because you're being you know, you're active, you're exercising, you're moving around in your body, and you have that tampon inside of you. You can definitely become a victim of toxic shock syndrome. You may have already been a victim and just didn't know. The symptoms can be, they're like flu-like symptoms. You can get a fever, you can, you know, be throwing up, feel dehydrated, pass out, and it can be deadly. So like I said, I'm not against tampons because I've used them in the past, and I would recommend, if you're gonna use tampons, use 100% organic cotton tampons. Don't get all those advertised tampons like Playtex and all that other stuff. Don't use that, because they're full of chemicals, and those chemicals are basically being released into your bloodstream because you're on your period. You're putting a tampon up there. The tampon is spreading out. It's releasing the chemicals. They're going up into your bloodstream. And that's why, too, there's pads like that, too. We're going to touch on that. But there's pads like that, too, where those chemicals are going into your body. And you will have like worse cramps, or you might have diarrhea, or you might get cold sweats or fever, or just not be feeling good. And it's not even because of your period, it's because of the products that you're using on your period. And I learned about this, and I was educated when I was in maybe like 9th or 10th grade. We had a specialist, this guy, he was a TSS advocate because he had lost his daughter to TSS. So basically what he was doing, he was just educating young women on what what things and products, alternative methods that they can use if they're on their period, especially if you're still active, a cheerleader. And I was running track at the time, that you can use in place of that, so that you don't become a victim of TSS, or so that you're not just experiencing all these symptoms for nothing. Because it's like, if you could not have cramps or have cramps, and it was just the difference between 2 tampons or 2 different pads, you're gonna pick the one where you're not gonna have cramps. And I'm not saying it's gonna eliminate it all the way, but it'll definitely reduce it. Like, it's gonna reduce your symptoms using 100% organic cotton tampons. That's first of all. Second of all, with pads, same thing. You want to try to use 100% organic pads or cloth pads. So the things that I have used in the past, I've used cloth pads. If you know how to sew, you can make them yourself, but we got them custom made. You can look on Etsy.com. I would just type in cloth pads. There's a ton of people on there who make them, and when I tell you, I don't experience any symptoms, okay? I'll have mild cramping like my first day, and then after that, nothing. So I would look into cloth pads. I've also used a Diva Cup. A Diva Cup is like a silicone cup that you insert. You can literally wear it for like 6 to 8 hours. It's a cup. You fold it in half, you insert it like a tampon, and then it opens up like a tampon. You can use that all day. To take it out, you can just squeeze it, take it out, dump it, okay? It sounds gross, but it's good for you. Okay, so I've done the cloth pads, I've tried the Diva Cup, I've tried, oh, it's another one. So there's another one, it's like the Diva Cup, but they're disposable. The Diva Cup can last you for 3 years. You buy one and you're good. You don't have to buy tampons, you don't have to buy pads. You can buy panty liners if you're just worried about something, but the Diva Cup is basically like a permanent solution. Like, it'll last you 3 to 5 years. It's biodegradable. Yeah, it's good for the environment. It comes with a little wash, and you can just reuse that over and over and over. But they also have a temporary one. I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically the same thing as a Diva Cup, but it's plastic. Same concept, it's plastic, but it's disposable. So those are some options that y'all can look into. But when you're on your period and you're cheerleading and you have practice, first of all, you want to take your ibuprofen, your Advil, your whatever medicine that you need to take to keep your cramps down. Because if you experience PMS, that's premenstrual symptom, sometimes that carries over into your period, not just prior to your period, and that can really affect you attitude wise, mood swing wise, morale wise. So you want to be your best when you're going into cheerleading, when you're going into practice, when you're going into games. So take your medicine. And if you're against taking medicine, sometimes I don't want to take medicine. One, you want to stay hydrated to alleviate your cramps, to keep you going, to, you know, your hormones are all over the place, to flush those toxins. You want to stay hydrated, okay? You want to eat healthy. Don't be indulging in all that sugary stuff. Don't be carving up. If you just need some sugar, eat some fruit, okay? Okay? Like, seriously, y'all, it's a thing. I'm telling you, you're going to feel 100% better. Like I said, keep an emergency pouch on you. Keep an emergency pouch with all your essentials in there, whatever you use. Like I said, I'm not against tampons, but just be knowledgeable about what you're using so that you can make a conscious decision and that you can be aware of what could possibly happen. So, you know, have your emergency pouch. What I always did too, if I wore pads or tampons or whatever, I would put it on, use the underwear, and then I would put on like sliders, or Spanx, whatever y'all call them. I'll put those on, and then I'll put another pair of shorts over that, just in case, okay, y'all? Because the worst thing that you want to happen is for it to leak through, or just anything, leak down your leg, or just anything. Because, you know, we be doing flips, doing splits, doing stunts, jumps, and your period don't stop that. You still have to show up and do your job as a cheerleader. So yeah, that's really all I have to tell y'all. Oh, no soap, y'all. Don't be down there scrubbing yourself with soap. Water only. Make sure you just shower. I would just up my shower to twice a day. So maybe like 3 times a day, honestly. Because when I was on my period and I was cheerleading, of course I'm gonna take a shower when I get up in the morning, because you want to sleep on your period. Take a shower to refresh everything. Then I would take a shower before cheer practice because I need to make sure I'm good. And then I would take another one after. And I know that seems like a lot, but like when you're on your period, or even when you're not on your period, hygiene is a necessity. It is a priority. You need to take care of yourself, keep yourself fresh, keep yourself clean. So y'all do what y'all gotta do. So I hope these tips helped. I hope y'all didn't feel like this was TMI, but I feel like this is information that we all need to know, that we can all benefit from, and there's no shame. Like, we all have a period, and we all gotta take care of ourselves and our fellow cheermates, because like I said, some girls don't know, some girls don't have that support, some girls are motherless, or you know, they just don't know. So share this video with your friends and your cheer groups, with your cheermates, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're not, thank you for supporting my channel and tuning in. And I will see you guys in the next one.